Hi there, Mike Hall here. As you can see, change of scenery. I'm wearing magician gloves today, which the reason for which will be revealed in due course. So I'm in the office, which is an experience after 2 months away, but it's good to be back, albeit not the same. Social distancing in place, it's not quite this back to normal yet, but we're getting there, so it's progress. What I want to cover in this short video today is just following on from my email of earlier, which was about imprimaturs. Imprimaturs are, of course, the first editions of stamps. So these are stamps that came from the very first approved printing plate of any particular stamp issue and were previously held in postal archives, and small numbers have been released over time to the general public, so they're very, very rare. But what is interesting about imprimaturs is that most of them are in the best quality you could possibly imagine, particularly when you remember that this was the very, very first print from the printing plate, so the printing plate is absolutely fresh and the colours will be very, very deep and as good as they'll ever be for that stamp issue. So I'm going to cover this linked to what it is about condition that makes a stamp valuable. The simple analogy really is first edition books. Anyone who knows anything about that market knows that book collectors love first editions, but it's the mint examples that have the real value. The scruffy, dog-eared, stained examples don't have a lot of value, and it isn't any different at all for stamps. The bottom line is that those discerning collectors that have big pockets to spend on their hobby only want to spend that big money on the best quality examples. So it is the condition which is the primary focus in determining what a stamp is worth. So I'm now just going to show you by way of example some imprimaturs what condition is all about. So the first one I have here, if you bear with me, is the famous Tuppenny Blue. And this is from 1858. And as you can see, the colour is absolutely amazing. This is 162 years old, and it is incredible how deep and rich that blue colour is. There's only 22 possible examples of this first edition of the stamp. Almost all of them are in institutional collections, so they'll never be available to purchase. So an opportunity to purchase this is a rarity. And if you look at, it's got lovely 4 margins as well. Back before perforations were invented, stamps were cut by hand, by scissors, and very often stamps won't have all 4 margins. And these are really good margins because they're all very similar sizes and they're good quality. This a great quality example, was once part of a famous gold medal winning stamp collection as well. Next one I'm going to share with you comes from the National Postal Museum, the released stamps to the market. And this one is from 1937, it's postage due. If you look at that, I mean, you literally would think that was printed yesterday. Beautiful red colour there. And it has all the gum on the back. Complete gum intact, and as you can see the provenance there with the hand stamp, that says NP Imprimatur, which shows that it came from the National Postal Museum imprimaturs. This is worth £10,000. I'll tell you why this is particularly valuable. These are 4 of the only 6 that were released for the stamp issue, so that right here is 4 of them in a block of 4. It's quite exceptional. And it is a privilege to handle things like this. Final one comes from 1876. It's a surface printed famous issue. It's the 8D Purple Brown from plate 1. What makes this particularly interesting is the sheet inscription, which shows 4 shillings per row of 6. Absolutely fantastic cut, clear, perfect condition. Again, looked like it was printed yesterday. This one has all the gum in the back, other than a very, very small hinge where it's been put in an album at the top, which doesn't really detract from its value, in my opinion. And this one is worth £12,000. And the thing about imprimaturs is that the very first printing of any stamp will always be the very first printing of any stamp. And when you can buy an imprimatur like this, where the condition is as good as condition for stamps can possibly be, you can't go wrong. So that's just it. Running out of time. Don't like to keep these things too long to ruin your Friday evening. But thank you very much for watching. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.